Okay, good morning. Happy Monday if you're watching this on a Monday. If you are watching this early, hello. This is your first week of your e-learning assignments. So I just wanted to walk you through how this looks on Google Classroom. It will be listed as week 1 Canvas e-learning assignments. You see that today you need to do part 1, which is completing the vocabulary definitions using the online textbook chapter on gases and other resources. Then you need to watch a video on temperature conversions, complete temperature conversions practice problems. Then you need to watch the video on pressure conversions, complete the pressure conversion practice problems. And then the final thing that you will do is actually complete the quizzes. I think it's 6 questions total. So you'll be doing those 6 questions, and the code is 868747. Remember, you only get 3 times to try that, so please make sure that you wait until you understand how to do the material before you go over the quizzes. Now, if you notice here, this is your gas laws vocabulary assignment. It is in a Google slideshow, so you'll be typing definitions in there and submitting it. That's why there's a copy for each student. Here is just a little JPEG picture of conversions for temperature and pressure that you'll be needing throughout this unit. And this is the pressure conversions gas laws practice that I'll be referring to in all of the videos. So if you click on that, that will take you directly to the gas laws practice page. It'll look something like this, and it has all of the problems listed that you have to do for your assignment for this week. So this video is actually going to serve as your first video where we're going to talk about temperature conversions. So I'm going to start that right now and start lecturing on that right now. So please pause the video whenever you need to. If you need to, make sure you open up another tab that has these pressure problems there so you can watch the video as well. If you're maybe watching the video on your cell phone and then have your problems up on your screen, that's fine. Please note that if you need to work these problems out on a separate sheet of paper and then just take a screenshot of those problems and upload it into Google Classroom, that's totally fine. All of these assignments should be uploaded by the end of the week within this assignment. Again, that's due by Friday at 4 p.m. So let's get started with temperature conversions. Okay, so we're going to talk about gas laws this unit. So we're going to talk about everything you need to know about gas, kinetic molecular theory, the relationship between temperature and pressure, the relationship between pressure and volume, the relationship between the amount of moles and volume. So we're going to take it slow. We're going to start with just regular conversions because, as you know, there are different units for temperature and there are different units for pressure. So this video is going to go over your temperature conversions and the different units associated with those. So temperature, which is one of your vocabulary words, so if you want to go ahead and do this in your vocabulary slideshow, you can, and pause the video. Temperature is the measure of the average kinetic energy of a substance. So one thing that I thought was really cool when I first started really diving into chemistry is there's no really such thing as cold. It's just the absence of heat, right? So that was very cool for me for whatever reason. So temperature is the measure of the average kinetic energy. In other words, how fast are those molecules moving? So think about it for a second. What are the different temperature units that you know? If you look at the packet that I gave you, or the packet that is attached to Google Classroom, you'll see you'll see at the bottom of the document, starting at question 12, it has the 3 temperature scales: boiling point and freezing point. So let's talk about what those are now. So if you thought about it, you probably thought about Fahrenheit and Celsius. One that you probably aren't that familiar with, or maybe you are familiar with it from physics, is Kelvin. So let's start with Kelvin. Kelvin, the boiling point when anything is in Kelvin, is actually 373 Kelvin. And the freezing point is 273 Kelvin. Celsius, the boiling point for Celsius is 100 degrees Celsius. And the freezing point for Celsius is 0 degrees Celsius. And last but not least is Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit's boiling point is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And the freezing point is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So Fahrenheit is what we know here in the United States, but what we will work with, for the most part, in our chemistry problems is Kelvin. So it's really important that you know how to do the conversion between Kelvin and Celsius. And this is why if you look at question 15, all of the problems are dealing with going from Kelvin to Celsius or going from Celsius to Kelvin, because that's what we will work with the majority of the time when talking about gas laws. So how do we convert from one thing to the other? If we have something in Kelvin and we want to, or we have something in Celsius and we would like to convert it to Kelvin, all you have to do is take the Celsius degree and add 273 to it. If we have something in Kelvin and we would like to change it back to Celsius, we will take Kelvin and subtract it from 273. And if you have something in Fahrenheit, how you change something from Fahrenheit or from in Celsius and you want to take it over to Fahrenheit, you take 1.8, multiply it times Celsius, and add 32, and that will give you your degrees in Fahrenheit. So right now we're going to work out a few problems that will help you with that. So let's try the first problem. This is from problem 15 on your worksheet. So if you're looking at your worksheet now, you'll see that problem. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Yeah. Hi. I didn't like the way it was formatted. Whatever. You know how I am. So if I want to change something from 36 degrees Celsius to Kelvin, how do I do so? Well, let's go back for a second and look. Oh, look at there. I should have left it where it was, huh? You can actually see, let's look back and see our equations for our Kelvin and Celsius relationship. If I want to change something from Celsius to Kelvin, I use Celsius plus 273. If I want to change something from Kelvin to Celsius, I do K minus 273. Well, my original thing is in Celsius, so I have to change it to Kelvin. So what do I need to do? Pause the video if you need a moment. Did you say add 273? Then you are right. So we need to take 36 and add 273, and that will give us our answer in Kelvin. So I will put 36 is my Celsius, add it to 273, plug that into my calculator, and I get 309 Kelvin as my answer. Again, like I said before, since we normally convert between Celsius and Kelvin, there are not many Fahrenheit conversions, but let's just try one just so we know that you know how to do it. So let's say we're trying to go from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Again, let's look at our equations. We got Kelvin equals C plus 273, Celsius equals K minus 273, Fahrenheit equals 1.8 times C plus 32. Also, you'll see some books say 9/5. But I promise you, if you put 9 divided by 5 in your calculator, it's going to give you 1.8. Okay, so if you take the 25C, how can we change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit? Well, we're obviously going to use this equation right here, right? F equals 1.8C plus 32. So I'm going to take 1.8 and multiply it times my Celsius, my degrees Celsius, which is 25. So here I'm going to multiply 1.8 times 25. I'm going to do that first. And then whatever number I get here, I'm going to add 32 to it. And when I do that, I get 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to move me one more time so you can see it. Oh, wow. I'm just going all over the place today. So 77 degrees Fahrenheit is your answer here. So let's walk through that again. We took the 25, we multiplied it times the 1.8 because according to our equation, 1.8 times Celsius plus 32 will give me Fahrenheit. So I took 1.8, multiplied it times 25, added 32, and got 77. And the last problem, I took 36 and added it to 273 and got 309 because I had 36 degrees Celsius, and I was trying to go from Celsius to Kelvin, which that tells us to add the 273. So a lot of people find temperature conversions to be quite simple, okay? So hopefully you do. If you need some more help, of course, just email me and let me know what you need help with, and I can work through problems with you. But what you need to do now is complete the questions on your temperature. That is questions 13 through 24 in the handout that you were given on your Google Classroom assignment. You can use your online textbook if you need to. And if you need any other questions, if you have any other questions about this assignment, just let me know, and I will do my best to help you online. So you can just email me and I will message you back. So again, you're doing 13 to 24, and that is going to be your temperature conversions. Go back and watch this video if you need to, as many times as you need to. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Happy studying.